Good morning. Happy New Year. It's Tuesday, January 2nd. And man, have we killed it with our predictions lately and for this morning. Particularly pleased with our prediction that we could see a market sell off in the winners, QQQ, SPY, Big Caps on January 2nd. A sharp market sell off is actually what we thought could happen. And that's what we're seeing right now. QQQ down 1%, SPY down 0.67%. Apple down 2.3%. So let's talk about this. No one was talking about this. Everyone was saying Santa rally goes into the first 2 days of the year, but I've seen this before. You know what? I got to add something because I got to get this off my chest. Okay. To folks who say markets are chaotic, they don't make sense, they're inefficient, it drives me absolutely nuts. You can see here, especially some of our predictions that we make sense out of markets. There is always a reason for any significant move in the market. All right, we're not talking about the ticks throughout the day caused by algos. That's not what I'm talking about. But inflection points, significant moves over 1 or 2 days, significant moves for the day. Everything has a reason. Those reasons can always be attributed to a combination of catalyst sentiment, fundamentals, and technicals. And if you don't understand it, it's not because the market is illogical, chaotic, or inefficient. It's because you haven't done your research. Okay. So there's positives and negatives to how we do that here. The the negative is you have to act fast. All right. Because when there's a delta of information, there's a delta in price. You have to act fast, and you also have to interpret the catalyst correctly and quickly to be able to act on it. The positive of that is the way our philosophy on the market, that it's efficient and you get rapid re-ratings. You get a delta in price when you get a delta in information. The positive of that is it's really good for trading options. All right. But man, I just hate it when people come in, oh, no one could have predicted this. Nothing makes sense. Everything's chaotic. This is just a shakeout or whatever it may. I mean, I wouldn't call it a shakeout. There's a logical reason why people are selling the winners today. That's because they would rather pay their taxes in 2024 than in 2023. Really simple and easy. Nobody was talking about it. I've been doing this for 25 years, and I've seen this before. It doesn't happen every year. It happens under the right conditions, and the right conditions were really set up nicely in November and December to see big surge in the market, so people have these big gains that they don't want to pay taxes on. In any case, now we're seeing it come to fruition. And if you were listening to our show, you were prepared for this. You took evasive action last week. So, look, this is also being exacerbated this morning. And by the way, I wouldn't put it beyond Barclays, I believe it was, who put a sell rating out on Apple this morning. A sell rating on Apple. That's really going to exacerbate the move on QQQ. Let's me just out of curiosity. I don't really trade Apple. Oh, look at that. Already down to the 50-day moving average. Near the 50-day moving average of 186.56. I wouldn't put it past them to, that they also knew that this was coming. And, they just want to amplify it or take advantage of it or somehow. They knew that, this rating on this day specifically would have a bigger impact because people are going to sell Apple today anyway, because they were up huge on it in 2023. But this doesn't help QQQ SPY. Let's look at this. QQQ, I got to believe we're heading to at least the 20-day moving average on the major moving averages. That's 422. We're at 405 now. So another 5-point drop, I think easily possible on QQQ. I think it's even possible, but I'm not going to predict it. But it's possible because I mean the surge we had in markets was just absolutely unbelievable last couple months. It's possible maybe we even break the 20 DMA and go towards like 382 or something like that on QQQ. Definitely not out of the realm of possibility. Oh, look at that. That's a gap. That's a 50 DMA. All right, so this can be very painful. Even a shallow reversal to the 20 DMA, a shallow correction, 20 is 466.52. We're 472 now. Even a shallow move like that can be devastating if you're in options, if you're only in big caps, if you don't have a hedge. It could really be devastating. So you got to pay attention to all of these market dynamics and understand the market, understand why people may want to be selling today. Okay. That being said, Apple, I'm not going to trade Apple, but yeah, that's a sell rating, man. That could go down much lower today. One of our predictions we had, I got to touch on Bitcoin, was that Bitcoin heading to 48K. Last night, if you were in a chat room, we're telling you the inflection point would be 44,500, I think it was, or 44,400, something like that. And man, right on cue, when it broke that 44,400, it shot up another 1,000 points within like 30 minutes. It was crazy. So at this point, we give it, look, maybe getting long in the tooth here. So let's talk about this a little bit on Bitcoin, because this was like when it broke 30,000 or so, we give you a 48,000 target. So we're almost there. Okay. You can see the top of these candles up here, like 48,000. Yep. And also we have that Bitcoin ETF approval that's coming. People think within the first week or two of January, that could end up being a sell the news event. So be careful of that coming up. But man, did we ever nail Bitcoin? And we also kind of said, this time period, Christmas to New Year's, holiday time periods are usually very good for Bitcoin. So this worked out over the weekend. Unbelievable. All right, let's go to our top picks. We got some news this morning. So this is January 2nd. We're saying, look, the market's going to be pulling back, but micro caps are still going to be good here. Okay. Although, let me just look at this quickly. TLT is also down. Well, it's improving a little bit, but we're still well above the 20 DMA. All right. I really wouldn't worry about, maybe you could see some disruption in micro caps if we go below the 20, but really that 200 is the key level. 200 at 95.64. If we lose that, then I'd be careful about IWM type stocks or the 2023 losers that we're looking for a January effect in. So you got to keep an eye on TLT. But right now, I think we're in a little window where you can see outperformance of specific microcaps. Let's say QQQ SPY pull back hard, all right, the next few days to that 20 DMA or lower. I still think you're going to get nice moves potentially in stocks like Drio, in stocks like Air, in stocks with the right catalyst, with VERU, with Zim, all right, these microcaps that were killed in 2023. Look at LLAP this morning with a little bit of news, 15%. So I still think I want to be invested in the market. I want to be in my favorite microcap picks. I want to be in stocks with catalysts. And I think that can really buck the market trend today and throughout any correction in the big cap. So let's look at some of this news. Wow, crypto's crazy. I do have BITO exposure, and I got back into a little iron on Friday. But man, do I wish I had like MSTR calls or coin calls or something like that. But no, I don't. All right. So anyway, LAP, top of the list. Okay. LAP gets 2 news releases this morning. Okay. They said they got a payment from Rivada, and all the invoices are paid up. Last week in an interview, Mark Bell, CEO of LAP, said that Rivada owes them $9 million. That's the outstanding invoices. So this morning, press release out said all the outstanding invoices are paid. So that implies 9 million came in. A separate press release, they said their cash position is now in excess of 70 million. In that, they said, here it is. Their cash position a quarter ago was 38.7 million. So it's up by 32 million. They're saying primarily resulting from the receipt of key customer payments at year end, but I think maybe that also includes an offering in there. So they're saying primarily. But in any case, market is reacting well to this. All right, we'll look at the technicals, but I got to give a caveat. First, the technicals here: 200 DMA, 127. It's above 127 now. So what's next? If we go above 127, I think I gave a number this morning, like 141 or something. Let me check. Okay, there we go. That's what I had. 50-week moving average at 141. All right. That's the target there. We're at 130 now. We could easily pull back. Now, this is not the big news we're waiting for yet. It may seem like it. Got to be a little bit careful with this. Okay. Because there is no declaration outright anywhere that Rivada has received financing and that full $2 billion project will move forward. There's nothing about that. There's simply that they got this payment that we're thinking is around 9 million because that's what Mark Bell said in the interview last week. And that's it, right? So they got a payment. Great. Was that payment cash that was left over in Rivada's coffers? Did they receive a small bridge financing? We don't know exactly. Okay. So until or unless we get this confirmation from Rivada that, hey, we've raised, be doing this project. When that happens, then you can look for a multi-bag move, even from these levels on LAP within weeks. So $1.30, you could be talking about a 3, 4, 5, who knows, maybe even $6 stock. We'll have to revisit the technicals. Well, at least 345. You can see that high up there, make a gigantic cup. That can happen on the right news. I don't think today's news is that. Okay. I'm in touch with a bear, a skeptic on LAP. I always like to get his take on it. And he still has yellow flags here, even with the press release this morning. He doesn't totally buy it. He thinks there's a little bit of sleight of hand here, that, it's really not meaningful until Rivada confirms they got the full investment. So that's the thesis on the other side. So be careful of this today. I got it at $1.23. It's $1.29. So your price is important. I was able to act quickly on the news this morning, and I did give the alert as quickly as I could for you guys in the chat room. But let's see if we can find the support level here. I would say, man, what was Friday's close or Friday's low? Let me look at this. Yeah, somewhere in this $1.25, kind of like where the resistance was last week. Let's exclude that little spike to 130. This is not last week, is it? Oh, it is. Okay. Hold on. 5-day. Yeah, it is. Okay. So I would say like 125 or so maybe is your support level, 141 your target level, and it's possible it explodes beyond 141 if the net market opinion out there is that this is the Rivada financing they're waiting for. I don't believe it is, but if it is, then all bets are off and we can go much higher if people think that, if there's a perception of that. So Bitcoin 48K on the way. Let's see what else we got. Oh, Zim. We picked up Zim Friday. Did he get the alert? All right. There's a whole Red Sea saga related to the Houthis and the war and everything like that. Apparently freight shipping rates opened up last night 20% higher. Gapped open 20% higher. I'm not even sure where to monitor that. I didn't look into it, but I saw all kinds of alerts on Twitter last night. Shipping rates gapped higher. Therefore, you see Zim gapping higher. You can see the initial move from 7 to 12 post Red Sea disruption. We got in on this pullback. My target for you here is the top of these candles before that gap. So 1080 all the way through that 200 DMA at 1260. 1080 to 1260 swing target on Zim. There was an attack over the weekend on I think it's called MAESK shipping company. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but they stopped or paused shipping through the Red Sea. Any kind of disruption in logistics is good for Zim. I don't know exactly what Zim does, okay, But I remember in COVID time, Zim really exploded. And the explanation I received, I think, from people in our community was that it's not just a shipping company, it's a software and logistics company, and they benefit from complicated shipping routes and disruptions in shipping routes. Somehow they make more money from that, and obviously they also make more money from the shipping cost itself. That 20% move, people like that this morning. So I'm not sure exactly how their business model works, but I do know when you have shipping disruptions, it's good for Zim. So Zim is going to be in our top 5 today, along with LLAP. Now, a couple others. Air. We have today, this morning, they came out and they said their earnings call is going to be. It's not even here, is it? Okay. It's in our app. All right. So let's find this here. Came out at 7:30 this morning. There we go. Air Test Systems to announce it on January 9th, which is a week from today. Next Tuesday morning, I believe. Oh, it's AccessWire. A lot of apps don't have AccessWire news for some reason. Okay. ER coming up. We're just going to add this to our app over here. All right. So you could see an earnings anticipation run in Air. I don't think it's going to be out of the gate this morning. Usually when you get a big move out of the gates because they got a contract win. And also the earnings anticipations runs begin like 5 days prior, 3 to 5 days prior, or 7 days prior. Okay. So maybe towards the end of this week, you can see a bigger run, but keep Air on your radar with the market down sharply. Also, it's got that going against it. This kind of does move with tech stocks and risk assets and things like that. So Air probably not going to be in the top 5, but it's getting closer to a possible breakout, a possible event anticipation move later this week. Veru has their event Thursday. It's Tuesday morning, guys, not Monday morning. So in 2 days, I do plan on selling Thursday. Maybe some before the event, some after the event. I don't know this company very good. It was a tip that someone gave me. Looked into it. It looked good. I like the GLP-1 they're into. I like the fact that the offering is out of the way. Catalyst on Thursday. We've been touting this for the last few days. Hasn't not worked out, but it hasn't worked out either. All right. So it's probably, I don't know what my average price is, but it's probably somewhere around here. So we'll see. Veru, keep this in mind. This is a good January FX stock. I might put this in the top 5 on a day like today when everything else is down. I like these little micro caps with catalysts. Drio. Okay. All right, guys. I reached out to management and I'm like, hey, is everything still on track for Aetna this month? Today, January 1st. And basically the answer is, yeah, everything is good to go. So it sounds like it launched or it did launch or will launch today, something like that. Here's the problem. We can't expect a press release. They've been consistently saying that they will not be press releasing this. It's up to Aetna, up to CVS to do that. It will come through on the newsfeed under CVS, but no one has any idea of the timing, including management. Could it happen today? Could it happen this week? I don't know, but I trust them that this relationship actually has taken off at this point. It's January 2nd. I think it has taken off. They've been consistently telling that to investors. It's January 2nd today, and he told me this morning the same thing. So that means it's kicked off, right? But there's no news, and you might not get the news until whenever CVS decides to PR it, and they might never decide to PR it. So there's a risk there, but how beautifully this has been riding the 20 and 50 DMAs. I like Drio as a January effect play. I'm going to put this in the top 5 today. All right. Zevra, I don't want to push my luck here. This really exploded last week. We hit all our targets. I upgraded some targets on a swing time frame. So let's just revisit what those targets would be if we're swinging this. Let's go to the weekly chart. Easy to see. 692. Oh, wow. That's a double resistance right there at the 200-week moving average. 692. All right. It's 640 now. So a little bit more to squeeze out of this, but, it's probably nearing the end of its rally for now. All right. Could always break 692 later, but you got to pull back first, I think, if you do hit 692. And a day like today, lots of profit taking. By the way, at this point, Zevra's in the profit. So there may have been also tax deferral strategies by Zevra holders last couple of weeks, and I don't want to sell this now. I'm going to wait till Tuesday. to sell Zevra. So that's not going to be in our top 5 today. Okay. Tesla deliveries beat by only a modest amount, but again, on a day like today, how did Tesla do last year? Let's see. Let's look at the 1-year chart. I think it was up big, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, tax deferral in play. Okay, sell today, not last week. Defer your taxes until this year. I'm not going to put them in top 5, despite the beat. It was I don't know, what was it, like 490,000 or something versus 476, something like that. Came through. All right. Honestly, I like stocks like Yatra Online and Ganex, like things like this that, people think they're fundamentally undervalued, that may have suffered from tax loss selling in November and December, that may need to get a bid here this morning. No specific catalyst for Yatra, except I'm hearing some chatter that a big buyer wants to come in, and there might be some reverse merger or something going on. Hearing some chatter. Oh man, I heard Rivian missed their deliveries. So that's let's see, 20 DMA 20. Yeah, with a catalyst like that, I'm going to be avoiding Rivian as well. I think I have a little bit. I think I'm just going to sell that at the open and dump that and move on. All right. So that being said, let's go ahead and try to order our top 5 here. Obviously, Bitcoin to 48K in a swing time frame, maybe even more upon the ETF approval. But beware that ETF approval, you might see an initial spike up. Who knows, a few $1,000, and then you're going to see it go negative, in my opinion, shortly after that. Sell the news. So be careful of that. Okay. So top 5. I said LLP's got to be in there. Zim's I think I like Zim the best. Zim has got to be in there. Drio's got to be in there at the Aetna launch. Okay. Wow, this is some nice names this morning. Zim, Drio, LAP, Air, kind of not yet. We're gonna put Vero up there, lower conviction, I think. Yeah, this is a good top 5 little micro caps today. Zim, number 1 pick with the Red Sea catalyst and some nice targets for you that I gave you. All right. That's going to be number 1. LAP and Drio. I have to be honest. $1.72. See how this opens, but this might be an easier one to get into, being that it didn't go up yet. We know it. That might be better than chasing. If you didn't get into LAP at $1.23, maybe it's worth it to chase a little bit. Be careful with your size. All right, your size got to be smaller the higher these things go. Okay, so Zim, LAP, Drio. I'm still going to put LAP second because of the trade opportunities in it. It's going to be highly liquid, highly volatile. For example, might hit both the support and resistance levels we gave you this morning. It's $1.30 in regular hours. It might hit the full range of $1.25 to $1.40. So I'm going to put that LAP second. But if you don't want that drama, Drio might be the better bet. But Zim, better than all 3 with that catalyst this morning in that chart. All right. Then Veru, we're waiting for a pop. Hopefully get a nice, who knows, maybe get a nice 20% pop in the next couple of days and we'll be out. And Bitcoin related plays, obviously, I'm not going to advise on any of these. I own Iron again back in that on Friday. I'm in some Bitcoin, BITO call options. And that's about it. Let's give Zevra a chance to breathe and rest until the next level. Might hit 692 first, but again, the risk reward not as good as you go higher. So listen, guys, I need your help to grow the community. We had some nice audiences last week when we made the show free, but I can't make the show free all the time. Can't do that. Maybe one day when a chat gets much more robust, our chat app still has some, features and bugs and things like that we need to fix. Maybe when the chat gets really robust, we can make that our VIP and make our 9 a.m. show free. But for right now, the 9 a.m. show is what we're monetizing, and we need more subscribers to keep this show going. So I really ask all of you to follow us on x.com/storytrading and interact with our posts. Give it a like, a retweet, comment. It helps. Even if you don't think, I don't have followers, it doesn't matter. It helps the algos when you see the number of likes or the number of retweets, even if it's from an account that doesn't have followers. It really helps us. And we need it in order to keep doing this for the long term, because it's not viable right now. All right. We're not bringing in enough revenue to keep this show going. So we got to help get some help from the community to keep this going. Good luck, everyone. First day of the year. I think it's going to be a great year. Even like after this pullback we're seeing, it could be very painful if you're in the wrong stocks or you're in options. I think this pullback could get painful to the 20 DMA or lower, but thereafter, I think we're in for a bullish 2024 on lower interest rate expectations and presidential election year, which is always pretty good when an incumbent is running. Good luck, everyone. We'll see you later. Take care.